What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another 2022 NBA playoff recap here on Dime Dropper. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. For tonight's episode, we got two games to talk about, but thankfully, we had to, with a huge win by the Celtics tonight, bring my guy OthaGreat back on here. Oh, take your camera on, man. Welcome back. Don't get too crazy yet. We're gonna get into it, but how are we feeling?
What? Let's fucking get it. Yo, what up? I hope I don't wake up nobody in my house. What up, Dime? What up, Dime Dropper family? What up, y'all? Yo, how you like them fucking C's tonight, man? They pulled it off. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. They played the refs and the Bucks, and they beat fucking both tonight. The shit was amazing. Oh my goodness! Just wherever you want to start, man. That shit was so good.
So we'll set the stage with Rob Williams. We heard that he had some kind of, what was the injury? Some kind of soreness?
Yeah, they said from what it is from the meniscus. I think because they just shaved down or something. It wasn't like a meniscus tear. They just shaved down his meniscus a little bit. So from that surgery, you're known to have inflammation or something like that weeks following. So I think it was an inflammation thing. His knee kind of swelled up a little bit, I think, and they just wanted to rest him. And it's expected from that type of from that surgery. So yeah, it wasn't too much to worry about, and I'm glad. To me, they must have known it must have been something very significant for them to have actually rest him for him to miss this game, because this was a crucial game. This was a crucial game.
Grant Williams started in place of Rob Williams, and you knew obviously this was a must-win game for the Celtics. Don't want to go down 3-1 against the Bucks. Mm-hmm. And I thought in the beginning of the game, I want to ask you how you're feeling, because I thought that the Celtics came out and just shot a ton of threes, and a lot of them were good looks. But I think the Celtics have this one tendency where they like to shoot threes before the ball gets in the paint sometimes. Like the first good look at a three they'll get on a possession, they'll take it sometimes. And even when they miss two, they'll still keep doing it. And I just think that's a habit that could get him in trouble at times. And I thought it was kind of getting him in trouble in the first quarter. You got to push back?
You're right to a certain extent, but I wouldn't say they do that every time. I think that sometimes is
I was just talking about the first quarter tonight. I think it's a bad tendency that they have.
Yeah,
and they have had for a couple of years, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think sometimes JB especially, he comes down and he gets lazy and he jacks up one. Without setting up a play. Sometimes JT does it, but it's something that they do, and it was just like shots. It was almost like, to me, this game started a lot like Game 3. It was, first quarter we're struggling. Like shots that we normally drain were not going in. It was the same thing tonight. It was weird to me. I don't know.
Don't you think there's also a thing, and we're going to talk about it with the Warriors game too, but it's the same thing. Honestly, the Grizzlies, Warriors, and the Celtics tonight. Right. I don't think it's a great idea when teams come out and their first couple shots are threes. Like I feel like it can be you can easily get cold that way. You got to get some easy baskets, see the ball go through the hoop.
Yeah.
And then everything will open up. And I just think sometimes teams, they really, really settle, and sometimes the mid-range can unlock that as well, and teams so often neglect that. But as far as Giannis' side of things, I thought he started out really aggressive, but a little bit overly aggressive. I thought you guys did a good job in the beginning of forcing a lot of turnovers on him. I thought the first quarter was his only not great – it was his only bad quarter, really.
Right.
But the thing is, you guys just couldn't score. I thought Grant Williams looked kind of suspect to start. And by the way, on that threes thing – remember the first basket of the game for the Bucks? Grayson Allen got to the rim. Drew Holiday also got to the rim. Like, Giannis, everything's at the rim. So
right.
What matchup? My question is to you: what matchup are you, when you guys switch everything out of that starting lineup? Which one do you think Giannis has found most advantageous thus far?
The one today that didn't have Time Lord in it at the beginning. I think that's why everybody was so aggressive in the paint early on in the game, because excuse me. Time Lord just wasn't there. But as we saw, Alfred, I want to say this whole man's name. I want to hold up before I answer that question. I got to get this right, man, because I looked this man's name up. We got to say it right. Alfred Joel Horford Reynoso. Alfred Joel Horford Reynoso. Man, he did his thing in the second half, and especially in that fourth. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I think the matchup that he likes to exploit the most, probably, when he has somebody smaller on him. But I mean, Marcus cannot stop him, but he puts up a defense.
He did a good job tonight.
He did. He really did. And Marcus can switch on anybody. Grant, when he switches on him or switches off of him because he wants to stay on him, he can't stop him, but he is literally strong enough where you can't just throw your forearm into him like you do most people, and they just fall back and you're able to get that easy dunk. No, you're not going to do that on G Will. G Will does not play that bullshit. So that's one thing I love about him. But that, anybody that's a small on him, that's the kind of switch that Giannis tries to exploit.
In my opinion, the one that I think he's found the most favorable is Jaylen Brown in that starting lineup. I think he's gotten bullied and blown by a couple times in the series by him. And tonight it happened again. And even Drew Holiday got by him a couple times as well. I thought somebody who kind of struggled tonight, and he's been amazing in the playoffs almost every night, but at least in the first half. I thought he had a solid fourth quarter, but was Grant Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a couple. The Celtics had a lot of moving screens in the first half.
Right.
And Grant Williams missed a couple of open threes that he's been hitting all playoffs. He shot 3 of 9 tonight and 1 of 5 from 3, but he still obviously put in a good effort on D. 25-18, the Bucks after 1. Were you concerned at all, or nothing?
I was almost thinking the same thing. Like, are we gonna get screwed over again like we did in Game 3 with the calls? I mean, this is a whole new game. It was a lot of the same to me from 3. Just we're just gonna let Giannis charge, and not call the shit. We're literally gonna do that, and that's the thing that disappointed me at the end of the first quarter. I mean, we only put up 18 points. That was kind of sad. But our defense, see, this is the thing that's so funny about Game 3 and Game 4, and especially both games. It looks like the Bucks have all the momentum. They're doing everything right. They got the whole game in there on their side. They got all the momentum. They got everything they need, and we're only down like 2-3 points. Maybe 4. You know what I'm saying? We're still in the game, even though they have all the momentum. They just went on a run, and they just did that in the third. We're only down 3 or 4 points. So I love that. So that was my takeaway after the first quarter. We may not have played the best, but we're still not out of it. The game's still super close.
Yeah, especially in first quarters in today's game. 7 points is nothing. It's
right.
So much game left. Second quarter, better for the Celtics. They outscored the Bucks 29-23.
Right.
And I thought, Tatum started getting going a little bit, and Jaylen finally hit some shots after a dunk that he had that was off a Celtics team steal. I knew when he had an easy dunk, he would start hitting some shots. And you're only down 1 at the half. I thought Tatum and Jaylen were okay in the first half, but the TNT crew talked about it, and I agreed with them. They were still, especially Tatum in the first half, too passive. And I thought the Bucks were solid, but I was looking at this game more from a Celtic fan kind of view because the pressure was on the Celtics to win.
To me, I totally disagree. I don't think they were being passive at all. Maybe JB was a little bit, but JT was going for his. He was trying to get his points off. They just weren't falling.
He only shot 6 times in the first half, though.
True, but he took his shots. It's just they weren't falling, and I think it was what you just said a second ago. You said that when he got that wide open fast break and he dunked it, that kind of opened it up for him. Like players like him, they got to see the ball go in the basket.
Yeah,
they see the ball go in the basket, then they can go on their runs, and no matter what it is, 2 points, 3 points, going to the cup, whatever. But yeah, I think JB was a little passive. It's just JB but JT wasn't. He just didn't want to force it, and I respect that. He just did not. He did not want to force it. He wanted everything to come to him easy. And one thing we're starting to see, it's he likes to heat up more in second halves. In these playoffs, if you've noticed, I mean, it was different against Brooklyn where you had a team that it was inferior to you. You know what I'm saying? So you could just do your thing the whole way. You're going against the champs. So it may take you a little while to get a feel out for the game and where you can, score here and there. But I think he likes to wait till the second half to get going.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown, I forgot to say that. Thanks for reminding me. Jaylen Brown in the first half, after he got stripped by Wesley Matthews, in the left corner, you got the water, man. You got the Celtic water bottle too. Dude,
it's not a game. It's not a game, bro. Like real talk. I take this mug with me everywhere too. Like it's, I put this JT shirt on today. I had to put on something green, because it's Celtic. It's game day, and I'm not playing around. That might, well, you know what I'm saying?
So, man, JB, after he got stripped by Wesley Matthews, and I remember he looked really seemed like he lost his confidence for a second there. Like, he wanted no part of the ball, or didn't want to put it on the floor.
Right,
moving the ball quickly, not looking his confidence self. His body language was just that of a guy that played like Jaylen Brown, the role player from like the 2019 days.
Yeah,
and yeah.
He did look like that. He totally looked like that. I think that was the quarter. The second quarter was that play where he, went hard on Giannis. I think Giannis. Yeah, he tried to dunk it on Giannis, and Giannis kind of pushed him underneath the basket. Do you remember that one?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. So Jaylen comes baseline. He comes baseline from the other side, and Giannis sees him, and he's in the middle of the court. So he goes over, try to play defense on it, and he kind of pushes him a little bit out of bounds. And after that, JB points at him, and he's like, "Hey, man, I know what the fuck you're doing. Watch that shit. Watch that shit. I know what the fuck you're doing." And Giannis is trying to talk to him, and as Giannis is talking to him, he puts his arm on JB's shoulder.
Oh, I thought that was the second half, though. I believe, wasn't it?
I thought that was the second quarter. Was it?
I could have sworn that was the second half.
Okay,
I was going to get into the second half anyway.
Okay, my bad, because we can go back to the second quarter. But that play right there, I feel like that play kind of woke JB up, because JB was quiet. He was, like you said, he didn't look like himself. He looked tentative. It looked like it. Sometimes you can almost see it in his game. Like if he gets stripped a couple times, or if he dribbles the ball off his foot, or if he makes any type of mistake, he kind of gets out of it, and it's sad, but he usually figures it the hell out, which he did. God, I love Jaylen Brown.
Third quarter, speaking of somebody that woke up, Giannis totally took over the game. He had 15 points in the third quarter. He was getting the basket at will in transition. And that's the thing. I think when the Celtics, when they don't make shots, and this is a blatantly obvious analysis, but when they don't make shots, that gives the Bucks the chance to get in transition. We saw it in game one.
Right.
And Giannis, when he gets downhill, because I think the Celtics have done an exceptional job on him in the half court. He's really shown, like, I still don't trust that guy's jumper. I mean, from three, I just don't think he should be taking threes at all. But I don't think his mid-range has gotten better, but I still don't trust it in the Celtics.
Keep taking him, Giannis, please. Keep taking him.
It's kind of exactly what you were saying in the spaces before the series. You just said sag off and just make him shoot jumpers as much as possible. And he's trying to charge in, and you guys are getting a lot of offensive fouls. But I thought in the third quarter, he got by Tatum. He got by Horford on some one-on-one possession, just blowing by them. And I thought that your help was nowhere to be found. And usually this whole playoffs, it's been fantastic. But do you think there's a part of it? Do you think that was just a lack of concentration? Or do you think some of them are like not trying to take the hit because they know Giannis is going to barrel through them? Like Grant Williams at this point, how many times has he been hit and thrown onto the floor?
Exactly. And Grant and G Will has taken a lot of heat, of physicality from that man this whole series. But I also think it was the switches were coming late and weren't there because Time Lord wasn't there. Time Lord was kind of backing up
the help defense.
Yeah, he came with that awesome help defense. The whole, this entire series, that no matter who was on him, Smart, Al, JT, Time Lord was able to slide right over and come over and help. And then tonight, that role kind of switched over to Al. So, that I think it's a mismatch. It's a mismatch problem for Boston when he barrels the lane. But if you let him shoot his shots, let him shoot that horrible three he has, let him shoot those jumpers, which I love to see, and you do that, you will have success. And honestly, too, his numbers overall in this series are down. Like his offensive numbers are down this entire series, and that's credit Celtic defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to say, too, about Giannis. He really has some amazing footwork when it comes to those 1-2 steps at the rim, whether it's side steps. Yeah, the side steps, Euro steps, either direction. Yeah. And so he had a really good third quarter.
But to me, how good are those moves? They are good moves, Dime. But the thing I don't like is how much is he using that elbow to hold clip somebody over so he can get that? How much is he putting that forearm into somebody so he can get that extra space? How much is he? I mean,
They
good
let him
God.
they let him get away with murder. I'm not gonna lie, it's
Like
pretty bad.
Jesus, man. Like how much is he able to hip check somebody and they don't call it? How much is he able to charge?
Yeah, just barrel it through the lane like a freaking rhino.
And they just let the shit happen like that. Like that is literally how we lost the game in game 3. Like, look how game 3 fucking ended. It ended off of them getting bailed out because Al didn't tip that thing in a second earlier. That's the only reason we lost that game. Also, too, we were down because they let them get that the entire game, and we still in the fourth quarter came back and made it a game. Like, it's just this team. This team, man, really does not. They don't have enough for us. But I'll sum it up at the end, man. They don't have enough.
Yeah, let's go to some listener comments right now as well before we get into the fourth and final quarter. So, by the way, Celtics got outscored 32-26 in quarter number 3. That gave the Bucks an 80-73 advantage going into the fourth, which was pretty dangerous situation for the Celtics. At this point, the only two, Tatum started to get going a little more, but Marcus Smart and Al Horford were really the only ones shooting pretty well for the Celtics. But I want to talk, so let's answer these listener questions real quick. Cameron Naselli says, Dime, if you can take one Celtic and put him on the Clips, who would you take minus the Jays? I'd definitely take Marcus Smart. There's no question in my mind.
Hell yeah. You got any type of sense?
Phoenix Plays Z says, I need to ask the Celtics homer a question. Who do you think the best player in this series is? No bias. Come on.
The best player in this series, no bias? That's a great question. Shit. It's either G Will or Al.
No, I think it's no. He's asking who do you think the best player in this, like counting Giannis. Giannis is obviously the best player in the series. I don't think you'd deny that, would you?
I don't think Giannis has been the best player in this series. I don't know. He's probably been the best player for his team, but I don't think he's been the best player in this series.
Who would be better than him?
I think G Will or Al. I think G Will.
Come on, you have to hold him. You're holding him to G Will and Al standards, not Giannis standards. The effect Giannis has on the game is bigger than anybody in the game.
Well, I know, but if you're able as a Grant Will to able to stop that or slow that down, same thing with Al, and still get points off and still score. I mean, shit, you're stopping probably the best. You're stopping the best player in the game in the playoffs. So I think that might make you the best player in this series. I'm just saying, shit. That's how I look at it.
Well, man,
you're stopping he's the best player in the game. Shit.
Giannis. So he says, I think the mid-range is a must for him. You need something to punish those overcrowded defenses. He shot like 42% from the mid-range this year, right around league average. Yeah, I saw his numbers in the mid-range this year, Phoenix Plays Z, and it looked much better. But I expect a little bit more so far in the playoffs. I have to look at the numbers to see how far they are off, how far off they are. But he also gets sagged off a lot. Like not a lot of those mid-range guys have that much room, but
I was surprised. Stan Van Gundy even mentioned it tonight, how many times he sagged off and took that shot. And not sagged off, how many times we sagged off of him and he took that bailout 3. I don't know why he doesn't like try to get his mid-range together first before he jumps right to a 3. Like, why don't you master that before you jump right to a 3?
I agree with that.
I don't, keep doing it though. Keep doing it. Thank you, Giannis.
Phoenix Plays, he says there's no answer to Giannis. I agree. Phoenix Plays East. I'll tell you why you lost game 3, the transition battle. I mean, that's been the difference in all the games, right? That's kind of what I was getting at. Getting stops, and it really starts for the Celtics. I think the real key to this series, and you saw it in the fourth quarter, is the Celtic offense. The Celtic offense, because once the Celtics make shots, you prevent the Bucks from getting in transition, and you make Giannis play more half court. And it just becomes Drew Holiday, because the Celtics switch everything. The only 2 ISO players. They should really go to Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis a little more. Giannis and Drew Holiday are hogging it a little bit, in my opinion. But I get it. They're the stars. However, it makes them just, have to do a lot. And Giannis is, you pack the paint and try your best on him. And he's a little bit more limited in the half court as opposed to on the break. So, yeah, I agree with you. Phoenix Plays on the transition battle. They also say, nah, bro, he's tripping. And just the guy on YouTube says the bias is showing. LOL.
Yeah, it's nothing but facts. But here's the thing: I want to go back. I want to go back.
The best player in the series, man. Come on.
He's the best player in the game. I said, hey, look, I got to see him. His numbers are down. His numbers are down. That's why
his numbers are still higher than Grant. He's still playing better at basketball than. If let me ask you this: if you were at an open gym and you didn't know who these people were. When you
Oh, of
looked on the
course.
court.
I just said he's the best player in the game.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the fourth quarter. Then we're gonna lose.
Yeah. No,
Fourth
I want to answer
okay.
Phoenix's question because I don't the way you stop Giannis, you can stop him. You're seeing it right now. You literally let him, and I said this before the damn series started, you let him shoot as many jumpers as he wants, no matter where they are, and you just fall the hell back. Also, you meet him at the cup, and you put up a wall. Like, that's basically it. And try your best not to draw some fouls, and if they'll call them. You can get offensive fouls on this man all day in charges, but will they call them? That's the problem. But that's how you stop Giannis. Shit, just double him down in the fucking paint. Put up a fucking wall.
And I think you guys did a better job of doing that in the fourth quarter. I also think Drew Holiday was showing a lot of like strength and getting to the line a lot in the third quarter, but I thought he took some really bad shots in the fourth and throughout the game in terms of like not insanely terrible shots, but just he shot 3 shots I counted without passing the ball, like just coming up and shooting a quick 3. And one of them was in a very crucial moment of the game when they were down 100-96. Very crucial moment. But anyway, the Celtic fourth quarter, there were a lot of key contributors, but nobody more important than Al Horford.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Alfred.
Started with a pick and pop mid-range. Then I believe he had a dunk. And we forgot to talk about this. In the third quarter, Giannis had a dunk where Al Horford, I don't know if he got called for a foul or it was just a delay. I think, no, it was no foul, but he dunked I don't want to say on him, but kind of on him. Right. And then he made a face at him. And you got to technical for taunting. And Al Horford made a face in response.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And Al Horford got an N1 dunk and on the follow through hit Giannis on the way down.
Yeah.
And then he hit a 3 in transition and just kept hitting threes and one against Brook Lopez. I mean, what do you have to say about Al Horford's takeover in the top of the fourth?
His takeover looked like a thing of beauty. It looked like Al when he was with us before. It looked like Al in Atlanta. Like he was doing stuff that he'd even do in Atlanta with us tonight. I mean, the shit was amazing. Like second half, Boston 3-pointers, and this is because of Al Horford. We're 8 of 16. We hit half. Milwaukee in the second half, they're 4 of 10. You know what I'm saying? I love that stat. Horford and Tatum. What is it? I had to tell you this stat right here. And I'm so glad you brought that up about Giannis trying to do that dunk. When Giannis did that dunk, he tried to show off, like he thought he was going to get something off, and he tried to stare him down. I don't think that he should have got a tech though. I hate that they called a tech on that. Those are two grown men lions going at each other. How are you going to call a tech on that? But he shouldn't have done it because you know what he did? He woke up the fucking bear. You got Al Horford, 28 points. Horford and Tatum, 28 points, 11 for 12 field goals in the fourth quarter. And I took some fourth quarter notes my damn self because I was just shocked by all this. What is it? You mind if I jump right to my little fourth quarter notes?
We're on the fourth quarter right now. We're talking about Al Horford's takeover.
Dude, 6:35 left in the game. Tatum and PP, they switch on to Drew. They leave Drew. They both stay on the Drew, and they leave Pat wide open. Pat, Connaughton hits a 3. I didn't understand that. But then right after that, to make up for it, JP comes back on the other end and makes an acrobatic layup, like a crazy one. Then
Tatum went crazy in that fourth.
He did.
After Al Horford started to take over, he got to the basket. Then they were attacking George Hill in that pick and roll.
Bro, and George was playing. Like George was out there playing.
He got one stop, but the other two ones, Jason Tatum had like 6 points on him. The and one where he went right through him. That's when the Celtics were up 102-95.
Dude.
And then the 3 where he pulled up over him. But also a guy we haven't talked about at all in this recap, Marcus Smart was amazing.
Oh, dude. When Marcus
creating.
You people can say, Drew Holiday's so strong and Drew Holiday this and he's one of the best point guards in the league. You can forget about the depoy if you want to, but you know who I would take one-on-one in the paint, mano y mano? I'm taking Mr. Smart. I'm taking depoy. He manned that motherfucker up twice and got crucial buckets right there in the paint. It was Al, Tatum, and Smart with crucial buckets right at the end. 30 for 30 for Al and JT. Another note I had. Right after JT hits the acrobatic layup, Giannis makes an incredible layup. Right on the other end, he did that with 4:57 left. Al has outscored the Bucks by himself, Dime. That was the stat of the game right there. With 4:57 left in the game, Al had outscored the Bucks 16-14 at that point. Isn't that crazy? By himself. And with the 3:49 left, Boston has all momentum, up 10 points. Oh my goodness! Right after that, Hill hits JB twice with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. No call. Bucks get bailed out. I mean, it was if you saw it, it was egregious. I mean, he literally he hit JB when he had the ball. Then JB gave it up. He ran around the screen, tried to get open. He hit him again. No call, but we ended up with the W, man. I just had to jot that shit down because that stuff was amazing. And then after that, after the 2 minute mark, that run we went on, it was over. We just gaslit their ass.
Yeah. Marcus Smart hitting threes, got to the basket a couple of times, and even late in the game, as you said, scored on Drew Holiday, gave him a taste of his own medicine, taking him right to the restricted area.
Exactly his own medicine.
And also your guys' defense, your help was a lot sharper in the fourth quarter. You were kind of walling off the paint, kind of as you said on Giannis. He still got a couple of points, but his limitations in the half court it kind of showed at times, and it's really where you miss Chris Middleton to be able to hit those contested mid ranges when you are packing that defense in.
Right.
So Drew Holiday was not having a great shooting night. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I think if they have Middleton, they're either the series. They look a little more sure on offense because, to be honest with you, man, they don't look that sure out there, and they don't look that sure on offense. On offense, they look a little stagnant. They look a little, okay, is Giannis just going to we're going to give it to him and let him just plow his way through? Because we're not kicking the ball out to Brook for him to shoot threes. We're not giving it to Wesley for Wesley to either drive and kick, or for Wesley to shoot threes. We're not doing any of that. Drew's kind of scoring. So what are we going to do? So if they have Chris, I think they're a little more stable on offense. I'm so glad they don't have to. I hate to say that, but yeah.
Al Horford, big shot after big shot. Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, big shot after big shot.
Oh, my God.
Celtics pull away and win it 116-108. They win the fourth quarter 43-28 and tie the series at 2, gaining home court advantage back. It is now a best of 3 series. I'll read some of the stat lines for the Milwaukee Bucks. They really played an 8-man rotation with Bobby Portis, George Hill, and Pat Connaughton. Bobby Portis only played 15 minutes tonight. He came off the bench, 2 for 7.
Connaughton was bussing.
4 points.
Connaughton was bussing.
Pat Connaughton, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 for 8 shooting, and 3 for 6 from deep. He's had a really good series.
He has.
And then the starting 5, Grayson Allen started today in place of Bobby Portis. They went a little smaller. He had 7 points on 3 for 7 shooting. And then Wes Matthews, 12 points on 3 for 5 shooting. Another solid outing for him. And then the Brook Lopez, 17.7 boards, 6 for 11 shooting. I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, you would think 17 points. You think they would use him more and go to him more. I mean, you got Twin Towers down there. That's two things.
Especially when the Celtics switch everything. So you have a lot of potential mismatches.
You got mismatches all fucking day, and they're in your favor because you're such a big team. And the two things that I do not understand about Bud, I would clown him about this if he didn't win a chip last year. But how do you leave your opponent wide open for threes? And you have Twin Towers. Why don't you use them? Like, all you do with Brook is just give him like little alley-oops. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can actually shoot. He can shoot a mid-range. He can shoot a 3. Like, use him. He can post somebody up. Like, he can do what I think Time Lord will be able to do if they let Time Lord develop or let him do that instead of just giving Time Lord just alley-oops all damn day. Like, he don't know what a damn jumper is. But it's just, I don't know why Coach Bud makes those mistakes, but I'm glad he does because we're going to take advantage of it.
Drew Holiday, 5 for 22 shooting, 1 for 6 from deep. He had a tough night tonight shooting the ball, 16 points, 7 boards, 9 assists. The Bucks shot 41.5% as a team, so the Celtics defended well in the end. 9 for 27 from deep, so only 33%, not shooting well from outside. And then Giannis, 34 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 turnovers. I thought it was really good after the first quarter. But, 14 for 32, I'd say that's the Celtics still holding him under 50%, which is what you need to do. 0 for 4 from 3, he should not be. And some of them just pulling up for them like he's actually good at them. I just think that if you're Giannis, you got to stay away from this constantly being at the top of the key thing. Keep going in the post. keep and try to stay away from constant offensive fouls. That's got to be, these are where the post fundamentals need to be shown. Lower body, don't extend so much and push off, jump hooks, turnarounds, get good post position before you even get the ball, stick to the basics, play off the ball a little bit more. But it's hard when you don't have Chris Middleton. And 6 for 11 from the line too. So not getting up on the line.
I'd be surprised too. I'm surprised that they don't play Javon Carter a little bit more too, man. The dude has a jumper. I remember him at West Virginia. He was good. He looked old as hell when he was in college. So I'm surprised they don't play him. But yeah, honestly too, you give Lopez the ball more, or Drew if he puts up some more points because he had 16, but he probably got most of them from the line.
Who?
It was Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
He was 5 for 22. So like you said, it was horrible. He got most of his points from the line. But if one other person for the Bucks gives them 20 or 25 points, it probably goes to overtime or they win. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy.
If not gonna cut it tonight with the C's. 8-man rotation played for them. Daniel Tice played 11 minutes, had a donut, 0 for 5, only 11 minutes played.
What's Ja Corey talking about? How you gonna talk shit to me? We won. Like talk your shit. What?
Wait. I'll go to the comments after. And then Derek. I'm sorry, not Derek White. Peyton Pritchard only played 13 minutes tonight. Shot 2 times.
Peyton is not. Yeah,
he's not had a great series so far shooting the ball.
I don't know what Peyton's deal is. I think it's I think he's not getting it in the spots that he normally gets it in. I think they definitely look for him. They saw him on the scouting report and they paid attention to Peyton because they are not letting Peyton get his shot off, and he is not getting comfortable in this series. Another person that's not getting comfortable in this series is Tice. I hate that. Like I love Daniel Tice. I think Tice is dope. I think when the Celtics fucked up letting him go, because when they traded him away and he went to Chicago and Houston, it messed up his development. His shot is all the way off now. It is not as crisp. It is not as sharp. His offensive game is not as together as it was before he was traded from us a couple years ago. And it clearly shows. Like shots that he would bang out every game. He can't hit those at all for us. I mean, it's 0 for 5 for field goals. Like I miss the old Tice.
As for the starters, I already said Grant Williams, 9 points, 4 boards, not one of his better games. 3 of 9 shooting, 1 of 5 from deep. But the other 4 starters for the Celtics all had 18 points or more. I'll start with Jaylen Brown because, in my opinion, he was the 4th best player for the Celtics tonight.
He was
18 points. He got better as the game went on. Still are going to need a little bit more, in my opinion, for the rest of the series to win this. 5 for 11 shooting, 2 for 5 from deep. But I just thought that he didn't give off vibes of acting like a star tonight. What do you think?
Well, you would want more from who? From
Jaylen
Marcus?
Brown.
Oh, more from JB? Oh, given. Yeah. We talked about it. Like, he played 32 minutes. Yeah, only 5 for 11. Again, he had timely shots at the end. It's kind of like his thing is almost like JT. Like sometimes he'll have a great first half and then he'll cool off in the second half, or sometimes he'll have a bad first half and he'll have a great second half. He struggled throughout the game, but the shots he took late in the game were crucial shots, and he made them, and defensive plays that we needed as well. So I don't worry too much about JB. If he has an off night, he has an off night. If JT has an off night, they have an off night. If the Jays have an off night, I'm not tripping about it because I know the next game will be all right. So, yeah.
Marcus Smart, 18 points, 8 assists. He was fantastic. And guarded Giannis a lot tonight. That was an adjustment. Instead of Al Horford and Grant Williams, you saw a lot of Marcus Smart on Giannis tonight, and he caused a couple turnovers. He was fantastic. Took a huge charge in the 4th. 8 for 13 shooting and 2 for 3 from deep. Huge.
If we were playing at the Y or we were playing somewhere with like real refs, Smart and G. Will would have had so many charges on Giannis, he wouldn't have been able to finish the game. Like it was just ridiculous, especially Smart. Like it's fucking crazy. Like Depoy. I mean, I saw him. You saw him do it when Jamie Harden was with Houston in that one game when they were in Boston a couple years ago. And I mean, he drew how many fouls, charges from that dude within 2 minutes.
Yeah, that
you know what I'm saying? That was sick. And Smart knows how to do it, man. Gets under your skin.
Jason Tatum, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Absolutely fantastic as the game went on. Huge in the 4th. He was 11 for 24 from the field, 3 for 10 from deep. not great. A lot of threes for me, but still was more aggressive as the game went on in the fourth, especially made some tough shots. That one circus shot you talked about was
my goodness,
fantastic.
it was so
And
pretty.
then the player of the game for me, Al Horford, just led by
Yes.
example in his own way. Made huge shots in the fourth, played great defense, rebounded 30 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, made mid-range shots, 3-point shots at the basket, 11 for 14 shooting, and 5 for 7 from deep. It was an absolutely incredible performance by him. Celtics shot 50% from the field for the game and 38% from deep and 90 from the line. So finally a good shooting game. The C's went. Give me your last thoughts before we move on to the Warriors. Big win.
We still didn't get as many free throws. They still had 7 more free throws than we did. Of course they fucking did. But I just before I say my last thing about Al, one person I want to bring up Derek White. He only gave us he only gave us 11 points, but those 11 points were crucial because he has not been able to give us points too often in this series. So I'm so happy for him being able to do his thing. So major shout out to Derek White. And one thing Derek White does, even in games where he wasn't giving us points, he's doing stuff that, that not on the stat sheet type stuff, like diving for a ball, setting the screen, knocking a ball loose. So someone else can get the steal. Tipping a ball towards somebody. All types of shit like that. Like, dude is amazing. I just want him to have more games like this and just give us a little more points. I like his defense. Could be a little bit better, but I got to give him props. And last thing I'll say about Al, when Al had that dunk on Giannis. When he had that dunk and his arm came down and he got Giannis in the face and his hype, you never see Al Horford that hype. That's like when you see the GOAT hype on the sidelines, Mr. Brady for New England when he was up there, or when he's with Tampa Bay. When you see the GOAT hype on the sidelines, some serious shit is about to go down. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was with Al. When Al dunked on him, like, man, that shit, it was ridiculous, man. I jumped out of my seat, man, out of my basement. This shit was amazing, man. It turned that was a huge momentum shift in the game. Huge.
So I'm going to let you address some comments before we move on to the Warriors-Grizzlies without John Morant. Ja'Cory Marshall says, oh, my God, I want to talk shit to this Celtics fan. He is a Laker fan. So I'm going to let you have it while I get some water.
Oh my goodness, you're a Faker fan. Well, I feel sorry for you, Ja'Cory. I hate that you have that lot in life, that you have to be stuck with that, shitty organization. Does Jeannie know what she's doing? That's the greatest thing about you is a movie a series that is about something that happened 40 years ago for you. It's nothing, recent. No one cares about your bubble championship. You guys are kind of like, the Kings are on a better trajectory than you are Fakers. You have big name players, but they're all 85 years old, so I feel for you, my dude. You may want to get more water, homie, because that glass looks super small. But yeah, I feel sorry for Ja'Cory.
It is super small. Phoenix Plays, he says, I'll say this, Milwaukee is very due for good shooting variance. The quality of shots they're getting are too good to be missing this frequently. Cameron slices Bucks in 6. My prediction was Celtics in 6, and I'm still sticking with it.
Smart.
Even though it's probably going to be a 7-game series to me.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten a Celtics. We haven't gotten a 7-game series yet.
We haven't. But I think he may be right about that shooting, but if we had another home game in Milwaukee, then that shooting would come back together. They probably would look great. I don't see them shooting that well in Boston, Massachusetts. I just don't see it in that ruckus TD Bank Arena, TD Bank Garden. It's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be ridiculous, man. Shit. It's going to be thick as the tension is going to be thick as a knife in that motherfucker. Thick as smoke in that bitch. Like, it's going to be ridiculous.
Let's move on to the Warriors. And
hold on. Last title was in 08 Celtics. Yeah. So what that mean?
You're saying that the Lakers won 09 and 10, so they technically still won more than the Celtics have.
Well, you put it in a tweet earlier. The only reason y'all got that 2010 one.
Oh my God.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Was in 09 was because KG got hurt. So you said it for me earlier. That's the truth.
Being healthy is part of the deal, man.
For real. That's the only reason they got that.
But they can use the Bynum excuse the whole time as well.
Yeah, and
Bynum and
again,
Trevor Ariza
I
that
don't
didn't get
think
to assimilate with the team after the trade.
Bynum had
Acclimated.
5 good years. I don't think he did.
Okay, so 07, 08 though, that was a big miss. Bynum. He
Mhm.
was playing pretty well before the Gasol trade. He's size, man. You guys is it good? You don't think Bynum helps against Kendrick Perkins? Okay, I don't want to get too off topic. We can maybe duke that out at the end. We can go all day. But let's talk
We
about the
sure,
Warriors and the Grizz.
sure the fuck in.
It was no Ja Morant, and everybody's throwing out that stat that the Grizzlies are 20-5 without Ja.
Yeah,
And now I can kind of see why. 2 reasons. One, ball movement, the natural, your star that's ball dominant isn't playing, so everybody touches the ball. And
yeah.
as I always say, I think pros, when you give each other a chance and move the ball and take good shots, you have a chance to win any game. And also their defense is better, in my opinion, because Ja's the weak link in the defense. And yeah, what do you think?
I think you're 100% correct. His defense is super suspect. When he, so you're basically saying Ja they don't play as good with him. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that at all. I just think that there are certain advantages, certain things that can be better without him. I think the defense is one of them, but I also think the Warriors came out with complacency and were like not taking them seriously, and they were very loosey-goosey with the ball. A lot of turnovers for Draymond, Steph, and Jordan Poole. Wayward passes. Pass should have been on the inside hand, was passed to the outside hand. And vice versa.
Yeah,
making guys stretch or dive to the left and right. Steph can throw some wayward passes sometimes,
He really can, but and you're right.
And
your
Draymond
point
too, because Draymond's didn't even look at the basket tonight half the time.
Yeah,
Not half, more than half.
So, sometimes Draymond can play sloppy, and they probably did play it down to their opponent. I mean, they're turning the ball over, but they don't expect Memphis to come down and hit shots, and that's what Memphis was doing. Memphis was coming down and draining shots.
Absolutely.
And you know what?
Tyus Jones, big part of that.
Exactly, and that one little runner thing he had in the fourth quarter was.
Oh, he had one in the first quarter too. It was beautiful.
That shit was crazy. I thought for sure somebody was going to block that shit, but I just got to say this, man. I'll go out on a limb and say it. I don't think they play as well when Ja's in the lineup. I don't think they play as well at all.
So you really think that if they didn't have Ja Morant on their team, they would have gotten the second seed?
Would they not have got? Well, you know what? Here's the thing: in the regular season, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the regular season, and look how much he missed in the regular season, and they still did well. The only reason I say that is because of this. When Ja has the ball, what does it turn into? Let's all look at Ja. Let's just watch him. It almost turns into the fucking 01 76ers when it's just Iverson. You know what I mean? It's just Ivo by himself. You're not going to win if just Ivo's doing every fucking thing and Eric Snow is just watching them and Dikembe is just watching them. No, y'all got to be involved in the offense. You all have to be a part of it. When Ja's not in there, they play better together as a team. Like they just do. They sync up better. People are more asked to take shots. Like Kyle Anderson isn't getting all those damn shots he got tonight if Ja's playing. We know that.
And then sometimes, that's the challenge of a leader. You got to find the right balance. If you got guys that you're preventing from getting off, you're supposed to try to make everyone better. That doesn't mean just get everybody open shots. If they can create their own shots and that makes them better, then you got to try to find a balance. And that comes from also being able to play off the ball well, which I don't think Ja's found really yet. But So I thought the Warriors, as I said, loosey-goosey in the first quarter. Something we need to acknowledge is Steven Adams started tonight, and I thought he was actually really effective.
He was. It should have kept his ass in there because
talk about it.
You would think that Golden State, after all these years, all these championships, them winning, them being contenders, being the best team in the league for so long, they would know that you have to be, you have to have a good player or a decent player at all 5 positions. And I guess maybe Looney is just decent. That's why they just have a decent center. But I don't know,
Looney
man.
Didn't even start tonight. They still started with Kuminga, but he only played 5 minutes.
I know, but what I'm saying is they started Kuminga out at the 5, right?
Yeah, basically. Well,
it's
Draymond at the 5, really, and they switch everything.
Exactly.
Today they weren't switching everything on Adams though. They were switching Wiggins onto him, but they were not switching everything on Adams. They were a little bit more showing and recovering type of deal from both teams actually. Grizzlies especially. I thought because they have Adams out there, and so he was coming up. And, I think the Grizzlies rotations are pretty good. And And sometimes Steven Adams was coming up and actually doing a decent job moving his feet, in my opinion.
Right.
Curry and Poole would try to turn the corner, and Adams would trail them, and they did a good job of collapsing last second. And Jaren Jackson Jr. had 5 blocks tonight? And they were creating turnovers. They got him deep and got him to a lot of jump passes.
I'm so glad you said it. I'm so glad you said it too, man, because JJ, man, to me, his game a lot of times looks like sloppy and unsure of himself out there, and sometimes he just he flails around. It looks like a baby deer out on the court. But tonight, man, the man played excellent. You know what I'm saying? I think that's someone else. And you look at him, this is the case during the regular season when Ja wasn't out. Who 100% took over? Whose team was it? It was Ja. It was JJ's team. Whose team was it before Ja got drafted there? It was JJ's team. JJ is the best. I don't know. He's not the best player they have, but when he's clicking, and because he gets other people involved on defense with his defense and with his offense. So I don't know. I think I don't think he can play that well with Ja, but I was really proud of him tonight because I thought he played excellent.
I think it was when you see him, obviously when he comes off those pick and pops, I think tonight he wasn't hitting his threes.
Right.
But he's able to take guys off the dribble and kind of charge into guys. You said flailing, that kind of motion that he does when he rips through and goes into the paint. Yeah. But when he was rolling, I thought he was doing a good job of actually getting some solid post position on certain switches. He was able to show glimpses of what I talk about that I saw in his rookie year. Mm-hmm. A nice left-handed jump hook or running hook. Even he had a right-handed one off the glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's
his problem. He should do exactly that. What you just said, rolling hooks off the glass, working down on the paint, getting down on the block. You don't need to shoot threes. You cannot shoot threes. You or Ja. Neither one of y'all have a 3-point shot. Get a mid-range first. I don't understand. Why are we saying this again? Why can't these cats get a mid-range first before they jump? Before they jump, say what?
It's not emphasized anymore.
Right. You want everybody wants to jump to being fucking Steph and don't want to be CP3. CP3 is killing the game with mid ranges because nobody's doing it. And they don't even know how to guard it for real.
Well, I think a lot of the good players do it. The Brandon Ingrams, the
Kawhi
Leonards, the good ones. But let's
JT. But
JT neglects it sometimes too, though, in my opinion.
He does. I bet you money when they get back to Boston or when they go up in this series, he's going to use it. He's going to use it a hell of a lot more. JB as well. That's a little preview for what was it? Wednesday when they play. Yeah, they're winning that shit. But anyway, so I just think if Memphis would work on shooting, and then they should have stuck with Adams, man. They really should have stuck with him. Gave you 15 boards. He only give you 10 points. You could give him some more shit down low. Shit. Now that's somebody that you need to kick. You need to do alley-oops for and all that shit. But here's another thing. He's got a little hook.
I don't think he's really a lob threat though, Steven Adams. He doesn't really get off the ground like that.
Well, he was getting off. I saw him earlier get a.
he had to have a nice dunk though.
Keep talking. I got to take a break.
Go. Okay, no problem. So the Grizzlies led 24-20 after one. I thought Klay Thompson was pressing a little bit as well all game, really. The man sometimes just he hasn't seen a shot he doesn't like. And sometimes it's he just needs to do without these contested threes, not clear-cut looks. He hasn't going yet. He's taking a bunch of contested threes, one dribble, guys flying, not even flying by, really. And even mid-ranges just weren't going for him. And the Warriors turned the ball over 6 times in the first quarter. As I said, Grizzlies were up 4 after 1. As the game went on, you saw the Grizzlies or the Warriors go to their bench, and Jordan Poole wasn't even able to hit threes. Got a lot of open looks, but the Grizz did also a good job of running him off the line. He wasn't getting easy threes. He only shot 3 of them, and he wasn't really going any mid-range. And the floaters, were not really there or not really falling. They were forcing him into turnovers. He turned the ball over 4 times, and both teams were just bricking from 3 in the first half. It was a brick fest. And they started out, both teams started out 2 for 30 combined from 3. The Warriors missed their first 15 threes before Otto Porter broke the deadlock. And I know what you're wondering, where's Steph Curry? Well, I thought he was not aggressive at all to start the game. At all. Barely shot, didn't really attack. And 18-17 was the score in favor of the Golden State Warriors. That made it a 41-38 game at half. Solid defense from both sides, but kind of poor offense. Draymond not really looking at the basket. Grizzlies defense very solid. Tyus Jones at 10 points at the half. What were your thoughts on the first half overall for Memphis?
I mean,
great half for Kyle Anderson as well.
To me, they look great. They look like they were in control of this game. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Their offense looked fluid. Their defense looked okay. It looked like they were taking. No, their defense looked pretty good. They were taking Golden State out of Golden State's game plan. Poole was missing shots that he would normally make and missing layups. Draymond was playing sloppy. Steph wasn't as aggressive. Clay was doing what Clay's been doing, kind of too hard on a couple of his shots, going hard off the back of the iron and shit. So, I mean, they look pretty good. I'm looking at this team stat right now. This is crazy. 9 for 35 Memphis, 9 for 37 Golden State. Shit, and that's for 3-point.
Like shit from three. They missed their. I was just saying they were 2 for 30 to start the game combined.
Yeah, and it may be. They said this on NBA on TNT. They said this on Inside the NBA. Maybe that they just were waiting to cut the switch on. I don't know. That could be true, but to me, they look like they weren't in it in any way, shape, or form in the first half, and it almost looked like the way Phoenix and Dallas looks right now, where Dallas was an underdog. Now they look like they're on even playing ground with Phoenix, and how Philly was a total underdog when their MVP was out. Now, not their MVP, the MVP of the league, who should have been the MVP of the league. We'll get into that in a little bit, hopefully, because I think that was fucked up.
Oh yeah, but I talk about MVP and Coach of the Year at the end.
Oh my God, Joel got fucking played. He got played, but those seasons have flipped. Those series have flipped in the they're both on a level playing field. It looked like to me Memphis was gonna do that in this game. They looked like they were capable of it, but we'll talk about it in the second half. They kind of choked it away.
Yeah, third quarter. It was Jaren Jackson Jr. playing a little bit of bully ball, as I said. He was going to the favorable switches, rolling to the basket well. So when they were trying to put Steph in pick and roll, he was just showing and recovering, not really switching on different kind of guys, but was bricking everything, Steph Curry, in the third quarter. Clay was bricking everything. They kept turning the ball over, careless with the ball. For a second, it looked like it just wasn't going to be their night. But I thought Looney had a solid quarter. He had some nice rim protection, good defense around the rim, and had some offensive rebounds. And I thought someone else that did a good job getting offensive rebounds was Andrew Wiggins all night, making hustle plays and able to shoot efficiently as well again. And then Steven Adams, I said, continuing to play defense, getting out and hedging well on screens, doing a good job. Any thoughts on the third quarter in which the Grizzlies won 28-24?
I'll be honest with you, not many.
It was pretty even. It was still pretty even.
Yeah, it was pretty even. It wasn't much to me. To me, to me, Memphis still looked in control. They looked like they were in control, and they looked like they were not going to blow it. They let Golden State get close in the third, but it just looked like to me they were in control. I'm still shocked that they blew it.
69-62 going into the fourth quarter, and then you saw the Steph Curry takeover after a couple Otto Porter threes, big threes by Otto Porter, who played 26 minutes tonight, had 12 points on 4 for 7 shooting, and all those 4 shots were threes, 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. He was great, made some big shots. And Kevon Looney, as I said, 15 minutes played, 3 for 5 from the field, 8 points and 9 rebounds. So 9 rebounds in 15 minutes. But Steph Curry, and by the way, we saw Damian Lee play today. So 9-man rotation for Golden State. He played 13 minutes, was 1 for 6. Good energy, but just missed shots. However, it was the Steph Curry show in the fourth quarter. Talk to me about it.
I mean, he went clean the hell off. I mean, that's what he does. They set screens to get him open. It's the same Golden State defense. It's the reason why they have 2 championships. I mean, that's it. I mean, Draymond gave him nothing on offense with 2 fucking points, but he had 11 boards and 5 assists, you know what I'm saying, and 5 personal fouls. That's a good night for Dre. You know what I'm saying? So
it wasn't a great night. I mean, he had a crucial block at the end where he blocked Jaren Jackson Jr., but Steph Curry, though, as you said, coming off screens, finally was getting a three to fall, moving without the ball so well. There was just one give and go where he cut so nicely past the mother, playing him tight. He went back door. So intelligent with his movement without the ball.
What you have to,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say sometimes I think he presses a little bit too much for certain threes, but I still thought he was missing just shots he had made his whole life. He was 4 for 14 from 3 tonight, so that's what I mean by pressing a little bit.
Yeah,
but at least it started falling in the fourth. He was driving, dribble penetration, causing problems. He was fantastic. Right. It was one of those situations where I feel like the Grizzlies were the better team tonight, but they just had the best player in the game, and he took over the game.
Yeah, the one thing I love about Steph, like, he can sometimes he can force it too much and shoot his team out the game. But I mean, he's so fucking good, he can still shoot his team back in the game. I mean, that's how cold blooded he is. One thing that was crazy too, Kuminga though, 0, like a big goose egg across the board for everything.
5 minutes, only played 5 minutes.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
I guess they just don't, they don't trust his youth. They want to go with the more experienced players. And I think you saw the Grizzlies' inexperience at the end. They got rattled. The crowd got into it. Didn't really know what to do. It was hard to guard them. I mean, I was looking at the game more from a Warriors perspective, but it's tough when you don't have your best player. That's the one thing I will say about the Grizzlies. Like, it's all fun and games, but they don't have a closer. You know what I'm saying? Without Ja. Ja is their star. That's where they really missed him tonight in the fourth quarter.
Again, I think
outscored them 39-29.
JJ could be their star, or Bane. You know what I'm saying? Get your damn shooters open. Get your shooters open.
But Bane only shot 8 times tonight. Made 3 of them, only 8 points. He's clearly not been 100%. He's just not able to do as much.
Well, to me, Bane is nothing but like he's a PJ Tucker. He's just a corner.
I wouldn't say that he's much more talented offensively than PJ Tucker is, and not as good defensively.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a spot up shooter. He has to be. He's like Jay Crowder. He's like PJ. He has to be in one spot, to take that jumper.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't say one spot, but you're saying he can. I mean, if he has the ball and you go underneath the screen on him, he can hit it.
Yeah,
but he's clearly not 100%. At the end, Jaren Jackson took an ill-advised 3, and Draymond blocked it, and that was it. The Warriors won 101-98. Take a 3-1 lead. They really stole this game. Yeah. Jordan Poole didn't have a great night. He made some plays late, though, I will say, but 14 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, 4 for 12 shooting, 0 for 3 from deep. Didn't have a great night. Klay Thompson, 6 for 20, 0 for 7 from deep. He had a great game in game 3, but he has really struggled overall in this series. 14 points and 7 boards for him, 3 turnovers. And then
Klay's ice cold.
2 points, 11 boards, 5 assists, 1 for 2 shooting, 2 turnovers. And then Andrew Wiggins, 17 points and 10 rebounds, 5 of those offensive rebounds. He didn't have a great night from 3, 1 for 5, but was 7 for 13 overall. His slashing, his cutting, finishing around the basket. He just plays his role. Had another good game. And then Steph Curry leading the way, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, most in the fourth quarter, 10 for 25 shooting, 4 for 14 from deep, 8 for 9 from the line. 8 assists to go along with it. Thoughts?
I think Wiggs played his ass off. You got to give him major props. Klay is still ice cold, man. He's still
they're going to need him to get going.
Yeah, he needs
one more. I think I said Warriors in 6. I think that's what's still going to be.
Yeah, it probably definitely is. That's what I had it in.
It could be 5 though if Ja doesn't come back.
Yeah, for real. But Klay is just his shot when you see it is just clang. It's too hard. He just shoots it entirely too hard still. But and that again, that makes you just give more props to Steph, because Steph with double teams, triple teams, knowing that he's their only option that you have to really worry about every time down the floor. He's still doing it. He's still doing it, and they still can't stop it. Like that. That's the thing that's amazing to me about Steph and what he has going right now. Like, he has people draped all over him, but yet he still manages to get free and to pull his jumpers. So, I mean, the man's still unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say he's not the best shooter in the game. And I mean, Memphis, they don't have that switch that Golden State has, man. And to be honest with you, if Golden State can stay healthy, I don't know. I feel like Phoenix has too much firepower for
Hey,
him. But
Phoenix ain't out the woods yet.
yeah. Phoenix is winning that series still, though.
I
Phoenix is
still
winning
think
that
so,
series.
but you never know. Let's go
Yeah.
to the Grizzlies stat lines, though, real quick.
Mm.
They only shot 42% from the field. As you said, 9 for 35 from deep, so not a great night there. And 9 for 15 from the line. I also want to say in the third quarter, the refs just swallowed the whistle completely. Didn't call anything. It was insane. Zaire Williams, I thought he actually had a decent performance tonight. 7 points off the bench, 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 4 from deep in 18 minutes. Kyle Anderson, we didn't see much Brendan Clark tonight. Only 12 minutes for him, 4 points, 4 boards. Kyle Anderson, though, 23 minutes. That was the most of any Grizzly bench player. 17 points and 8 rebounds, by far his best game of the playoffs. 7 for 8 from the field, or at least his best game of the series by far. Bane, 3 for 8, as I said, only 8 points, just not looking himself. One of them was a ridiculous buzzer beater to end the third quarter.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And Dylan Brooks, by the way, I want to talk about him too. Got booed relentlessly tonight, as he deserved to be. Did not just clank after clank. He shot the most times after Jaren Jackson Jr., he shot the most times of anybody else on the Grizzlies. 19 shots, 5 made, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Just doesn't know when to quit. 4 turnovers. Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't shoot well, but he was good. Trust me, just the threes. He was 0 for 7 from deep. Should he be shooting 7 threes when he's missed his first 5? Probably not. 21 points, 7 for 21 shooting. Not great. Steven Adams, 10 points, 15 rebounds, 5 of 9 shooting. Didn't shoot a free throw. Only the Jaren Jackson Jr. was the only Grizzly starter to get at the free throw line. Part of that's because they didn't call shit, as I said, but still can't that. And then Tyus Jones, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 8 for 18 shooting and 3 for 7 from deep. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. What is it? Dylan Brooks was shook. Like Brooks was in his head, dude.
You think so? I mean, he has inefficient shooting nights, and it's on a normal day.
He does, but like he just kind of looked like okay, I don't want to be too physical. I don't want to get thrown out. I don't want to get another fine.
He wasn't as physical as usual.
Yeah, he looked like he totally wasn't. He wasn't all the way in it, and I could see the fans like constantly booing the shit out of him. I think that affected his game. So that's one thing I took from that, because to me, he shoots as well as Bane does. If you get Brooks open, especially on the corner or driving kick, that dude can shoot. So yeah, he was totally out of it tonight.
I don't think he can shoot as well as Bane does. He's too inconsistent.
You said, well, he's too inconsistent.
He's Bane has been shooting lights out this year, man.
Yeah, and you're right about that, but also too, Brooks can shoot. He's just got.
I feel like he's more streaky. Bane's more knockdown.
Yeah, he is. He's super streaky.
But now, how do you see it? Grizzlies, Warriors finishing it out. I mean, it just sucks that John Morant got hurt. It was a really entertaining game. I don't think it was a very well played game, but games 1, 2, and 4, all very exciting.
Well, I love the fact that Memphis made it a game. So that's what I loved about it. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was good. I was actually, loading up my show. If you guys ever get a second High Off the Glass on YouTube.
Or promote yourself now, since I've basically got nothing else except for join me tomorrow for Game 5s, a pair of them.
There you go.
Actually, tomorrow I won't be able to be there. I'm actually going to my first ever LAFC game. So I'll bring you guys a vlog for that. My first ever LAFC
go to football club game.
Yes, sir. Never been. So we'll see. Nice. We'll check out that. So no live tomorrow, guys, sadly. So I guess I'll talk about the Game 5s together after the Celtics-Bucks Game 5. So I'll talk about all 4 games. It's going to be a crowded live on Wednesday is what we're looking at.
No doubt. But yeah, what I was saying was
plug yourself.
I was my show High Off the Glass, hosted by OthaGreat. It's dope. Actually just did a live event for the NBA playoffs on Saturday. What is it? We at this bar here in St. Louis called Hot Java Bar, brought an idea to the owner, wanted to make it like a Celtic fan thing. And, we have a huge connection here with Tatum. There's a lot of Celtic fans here before Tatum and definitely more because of Tatum. So we're trying to get the fans to come out, playoff NBA fans, Celtic fans, and we had a decent turnout. We barely put the word out for it, put out late, but it was pretty good. I think next time will be even better. If you guys are ever close to the St. Louis area, follow me, OthaGreat, OTHA Great, on Facebook, Twitter, High Off the Glass on IG, on Twitter. And YouTube, and you can check out the show whenever you want. And like I was saying, what my thoughts for the way the series is going to end, I don't think if Ja was there, same freaking thing. Go to Warriors in 6. That's basically it. And I think I said that from the outstart. I might have said Warriors in 5, but it's definitely I take Dubs in 6. That's it.
I'm thinking
Milwaukee, Dallas, Phoenix. Milwaukee, Dallas. Stop it.
He's saying that he's referring to, if anybody listening on the audio, he's referring to a finals prediction that we were asked. I'm not going to the finals yet, but if I had to choose right now, I'm just going to go with, since I think the Celtics will win in this series, I'd say the Celtics on the East, and then I'll say with the Warriors for now, but don't take me too seriously with that.
Dude, that's an easy pick to me. How do you see Miami or Philly, teams that aren't as physical as either one of this as Boston or Milwaukee? How do you see or have firepower? How are they supposed to put up with us? There's no way. There's no way.
We can go on all day with that, but I also want to briefly, let's briefly talk about the MVP. Or do you think we're gone on a little long?
We did, but we can say it real quick. I think.
I think Jokic deserved it, but I think I wanted Embiid to win it more. I thought that he just hadn't won, and I know everybody goes to the advanced stats for Jokic. That's like his main argument over Embiid, because I think the stats by themselves just look fantastic to both. Mm-hmm. I think Embiid's a better defender. That's really what stood out to me during these playoffs, and I figure he's been playing better defense in the regular season. I just thought Embiid's season was unbelievable. Jokic's was as well, but my issue with the Jokic one was, I haven't had any problems with an MVP, or I wouldn't say I have a problem with it, but I kind of do, because I've gotten every MVP that I've chosen has been right since 2006. This is the first one since 2006, my first year watching basketball, that hasn't been right. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I was pissed was because Kobe in 2006 had his Lakers as the 6th best record in the West after missing the playoffs. Right. He averaged 35 points, which was the most since Jordan in 87, right. 81 points in a game, 62 3/4, with a roster very similar to Jokic's, if not worse. And they told me for 15 years that they didn't win because Kobe's team wasn't good enough. Mm-hmm. Now, only one person has won MVP as a 6th seed, Russell Westbrook. And they told me it was a unique circumstance where he averaged a triple-double. Now you threw that out the window. That's the only reason why I didn't think Jokic was going to win, because he was the 6th seed. I know he was only 3 games below Embiid and in a different conference, but isn't the East better this year by a little bit?
Yes.
So I have a problem with the fact that they shifted the goalpost. Steve Nash won because he was a top 3 seed. I get it that Amari wasn't playing, but Sean Marion was still on his team. A great player. He still had a team full of snipers, a team that won 60 games plus the year before. Mm-hmm. I just think it was just insane. Mm-hmm. They got Kobe messed up, man, because Jokic now, he carried a weak team to the playoffs. Kobe did the same thing. I just think I was really disappointed. Thoughts? But overall, congrats to Jokic. He joins a very elite class of players. Russell, Chamberlain, Bird, Moses Malone, Giannis, Jordan, that have won back, Steph Curry, that have won back, LeBron, that have won back-to-back MVPs. So Tim Duncan, good for him.
Yeah. I think it's bullshit. And
wow, that's strong.
I don't congratulate Joker on this. I get kind of why they gave it to him, but if you look at regular season, who led the league in points? That would be Joker.
Embiid did.
I'm sorry, that would be Embiid. I think who had more assists? That would be
Joker by a landslide.
Probably. That'd be Joker. Who had more boards? That would be Embiid. Okay, and the other person too the other thing that we forget with Philly that Joker did not have to contend with. Joker is on.
Jokic got more rebounds. Jokic got 14 rebounds a game and beat 12.
Oh, you got him by 2. Okay, not that big a deal. The one thing that Joker did not have to deal with is that he did not have to deal with the season-long drama of that bullshit with a player who did not want to play for an organization because he couldn't play right in the damn playoffs. And it's a situation that has been building and building and
I agree with
building. Yes, and building for years with them because people all sports media and sports fans were saying you should break those two up. Philly was too stupid to do it. They thought they could still do it. Obviously, it wouldn't work. This man had to deal with that the entire season and still found a way to win and still found a way to get his team I think they were the 6th seed. They were the 6th or 5th seed.
4th seed.
They were the 4th seed. Like, come on, man. I mean, yeah. Because Boston.
Do you think the James Harden trade hurt his MVP case?
No, not at all. I mean, you went from having no one to
Jamie Harden.
Yeah, you got Jamie Harden.
It looked like James Harden in Game 4 though.
That's Game 4. It didn't look like that this season. This season he looked like Jamie. So I don't think just because he got another weapon took away from him. I don't think that at all. I don't understand at all how Joker got this. I mean, Joker literally just got it last year. He has a more stable organization. I understand that his 2nd and 3rd best players are out, but he's with a more stable organization. He's been with that team for almost the same time as Embiid has been there. But what? That's the same coach he's had, I think, since day one. It's been nobody else. You know, I mean, maybe he might have had a Joker. Maybe he had a different coach his first year, but how many different coaches has Embiid had, or different teammates? You know what I'm saying? And this man still finds a way. And I'm not even an Embiid fan. Say what?
I don't think that many coaches. I mean, Glenn Rivers and Brett Brown, and then maybe one more.
Yeah. So I mean, that's 3 different coaches. That's 3 different systems. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I just think that Embiid has had to overcome way more than Joker, and like you said, has to deal with a much better Eastern Conference, where they're Denver's division against the Fakers and the Clippers. And
Denver's not in our division. Denver's with Portland, OKC.
Wow, Portland, OKC. Who else? Is Sacramento in that one? No,
Sacramento. I believe
Utah. Okay, yeah. So the only team they really got to contend.
We have Sacramento.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. The only team they really got to contend with in their division is one team in Utah. Wow, yeah. So anyway, in Philly's division, they got the champs, the new champs, which is going to be us, and Brooklyn and Toronto. So
I disagree with this take. Tyrese Maxey's miles better than anyone on Denver aside from Joker. I really disagree with that. I think Tyrese Maxey's great, but I think Monte Morris, I think he's a really solid player. I wouldn't say he's miles better than him. Aaron Gordon, I say what you want about his ugly ass jump shot and his offense, but he played pretty decently in some of those games in the playoffs. Honestly, majority of them, if we're being real. Probably 2 of them, at least 2. And he plays defense. Will Barton can score. I don't think it's that insane miles better. I think Tobias Harris is definitely better than any person on the Nuggets, though. I will say that. But, I think
Tobias Harris is better than anybody on the Nuggets?
I think so. He's an easy 18, 20 points a game. Tobias
Harris, you think he's better than a 2-time MVP?
No, I'm besides him, obviously.
You think he's better than Jamal Murray?
He's not playing.
Oh, okay. That's what the question is. Is everybody who's playing?
And now you had Harden. I see what you're saying, Phoenix, with the Jokic devil's advocate stuff, but I think Embiid hasn't won. I think he was going to win last year before he got hurt. I think he was even better this year. I just think that you can go either way. If they hadn't won MVP, either of them, it's fair. I'm pissed because the Kobe thing. They've told me that for 15 years, man. I'm just not having it.
Right,
anyway,
right.
CR7 Gamer says Tyrese Maxey was not playing like at this level before the Harden trade. Decent point. Tobias Harris, same thing. He was so shitty before the Harden trade, and even after the Harden trade, he was playing bad in the regular season. I still think he's a better player than some of those guys.
Right.
Phoenix says, so your reasoning is that Jokic playing with a consistent shit roster throughout the year is better than Embiid having to deal with drama, ending up with far more talent. I don't think he's far more. You're overrating the Sixers roster.
It's not far more talent, though. And a harder division, harder conference.
It's not that great.
Not at all.
But anyway, all right, guys, that's it for us tonight. Super chats to turn on if you want to drop $1 a dime. Make sure you guys comment on this video for the algorithms, retweet or share it to your friends, whatever. If you think it was good, let me know. Any criticism is appreciated. So make sure you comment. Thanks, and everybody have a good night.
Yo.